recording this recording a little bit late. We are now joined by Lexi and Dave of DNA Paranormal out of England. They have a YouTube channel. We're going to get into all the places you can find them. Honestly, we already kind of started the discussion before my brain kicked in and said, hey, you're supposed to be recording this. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, that's what I forgot. Made sure all the sound levels were good, but just managed to forget the fact that I needed to record this so that it could actually be put out as an episode. I want to thank you guys for joining us today, or, well, in your case tonight, like we were talking about the fact that right now we're encompassing the globe in podcasting world because I'm in northern Canada, they're in England, and of course Michael is in South Carolina in the southern U.S. So we've got everywhere covered. We're 3 time zones, 3 different countries. We're all over the place right now. So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Indeed. Great to be here.
Yeah.
Even though we're still in bed.
We are. In our pajamas.
There, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Well, you know, that is the best thing about podcasting. Like you, actually, I'm sitting here in a pair of pajama pants and a ratty t-shirt because I'm not on camera. I don't have to worry what I would look like.
Same. Same. We're both in our pajamas.
I'm wearing my Bigfoot feet.
You've got those as well.
I've got them
yeah, Dave's got the Bigfoot feet as well.
Well, that's a great thing. You don't have to worry about hair. You don't have to worry about any of that. Just go however. We're, like I said, like I was telling you, don't worry. We're all audio. No cameras are needed. So it doesn't matter how we are. And it helps sometimes. Because believe me, sometimes when insomnia is kicking and I'm like half awake doing this, it's like, I don't even know what I have on. It's like, oh wait, my shirt's even on backwards. So it's good sometimes not to have the camera in for editing. We always are glad for editing.
I agree, totally.
Thank God for editing. And hard drives and all those lovely things.
Oh yeah. Except for Windows 10. Windows 10 can burn in hell.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on Windows 10. I'll agree with you on that one.
It can go straight to hell, it can burn, and it can stay there.
I take it you don't like Windows 10 that much?
No.
I ain't in my fucking existence Windows 10.
It took me a while to catch on to the Twitter thing, but now I really like the fact that I can bitch at people on Twitter and I know they see it. So I periodically do tweet to people, and it's like Windows is one of my favorite people because I've sent them like 4 tweets now. For the love of God, quit fixing stuff. The more stuff you fix, the more you break.
Oh yeah.
I keep sending this to them over and over. Every time there's a new update, for the love of God, quit fixing stuff.
I don't actually think they're fixing up. They know they're breaking stuff. They're just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Everybody.
They are. They're just cool.
They know what they're doing.
It's like, how much more can we screw up before they finally say, fuck it, and just throw all the computers out the window?
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, it could be, it could be a conspiracy.
Maybe we'll do a show on that one. Yeah, and my other favorite is Zach Bagans.
Oh, don't.
Oh, I can't stand that guy. Honest to God, I can't.
Please. No, not Zach.
Can't stand him.
I know that that's a really touchy subject for a lot of people. I know a lot of people really enjoy Zach, and I just can't stand his attitude. His ego is too much for me.
I think the first time I saw him was only about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When he was in that Halloween.
The demon. No, it was the demon house that you watched him in.
House.
Yeah, the demon house.
Yeah, for a load of gibberish. Complete load of poppycock that was.
Oh, gosh.
Well, every house they have is a demon house. That's all they ever find.
That's true.
We know. I've said that over and over. The devil's got to be the busiest person ever because he's always following Zach around. Because you ever notice he never runs into a ghost. He always runs into the devil.
Yeah, it's a demon. It's a demon. It's a devil. It's a demon. Demons and devils. I mean, there must be so many more spirits that are just stood there like, why is he not chatting to me? Well, why is he chatting to the devil again? Why is the devil always up in my business?
Yeah, they're probably like, holy crap, the devil's here? what's going on? Dude, help me out here. What the hell? You know, they're like all confused standing over there.
Am I not haunting this place right? Has he come to sack me?
The only good thing I got to say about Zach Bagans is at least he does take it. Because I figured after I called him a motherfucker, he was gonna ban me, you know, block me on Twitter. But he didn't. He just went right on. I've argued with him about Bigfoot. When he did, it was like 3 years ago, I think he had Annabelle on his Halloween special. And I swear to God, I thought he was going to like do inappropriate things with that doll. I mean, it was like.
I didn't see this. What happened?
It was the doll when he was like, he kept being told, don't touch it, don't touch it. And he's looking sneaky in the face, like, I'm going to touch her. I can't help myself.
I can't help it. I got to do it. I got to touch her. Just a little bit. Just a little touch. And it's like, dude, do you need some private time with with the doll? We can get you a private room. We don't want to see this. And then he does this huge, huge letter about how he's a sensitive, and that's how sensitives act when they're around those type of spirits. And I was like, the person who trained me was a sensitive. And I'm like, I was like, sell that to someone who wasn't trained by a sensitive motherfucker. Star Anderson would have kicked your ass. That's all there is to it. He would have never lasted 10 seconds around her because she would have just beat the crap out of him as soon as he started acting like that. And so I was like, you just sell that to somebody that doesn't know sensitive, motherfucker. And I figured he was going to ban me after that one. That's my new goal. I want to get banned by Zach Bagans, but not for like just trolling him, like everything he does. Oh, you're stupid. You're this, you're that. No, it can't be that because that's just cheap. That's being childish. It's got to be pointing out shit that he's doing fake or wrong. That's what's got to get me blocked by him. And that's my new goal in life.
Didn't get caught out by in the Dybbuk box thing on Halloween. She brought in the rabbi. Then the rabbi says, the rabbi came in and says, I don't know what you want me to do, bro. I don't think I'm going to be able to go on with the script for the program. And it was a live program. And Zach himself realised, what the hell is this man saying? And he was like, then quickly said, look, quick, get the cameras back. Turn the cameras off, quick, we're going to go to a break. And all of a sudden it came back after the break and the rabbi was gone, never to be seen again, doing this entire program.
It was funny. I must admit, as soon as he said scripts, I thought, oh, there we go.
I don't think the rabbi knew a live feed. He must have thought it was a recorded program.
Oh, that was actually one of my favorite moments in television, right there.
That's the first time I ever watched Zach Bagans.
Yeah, it was.
I was afraid I would end up having a stroke or something if I watched. I'll be the first to admit, I used to watch it because I was entertained by it. I thought it was funny. Yeah. Honestly, it's like when you watch a parody of something. To me, that was a parody of Paranormal Investigation. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's like scary movie, isn't it, for a paranormal?
It's the same thing though with Haunted in the UK.
Oh, Most Haunted is way better though.
Yeah, most Haunted and obviously Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures is the American version of Most Haunted, and it's the same over here. We watch it because it's so funny to watch.
But Most Haunted is just so much better. It's funnier. It's so good.
No, it was when Derek Acorah was
Derek Acorah was the man, the medium that used to be in the program. Oh, it was amazing. Never seen him Google, YouTube him.
I know who he is. I used to watch it. I don't remember where they was, but I love the one where he's yelling out, "Mary loves Dick, Mary loves Dick."
That was what I was just going to mention. The best thing I've ever seen on television, Mary loves Dick. Yeah. I just couldn't keep myself together after I heard that.
Yeah. And he would get possessed every episode and chase all the women about.
He got possessed by a monkey.
Oh God, yeah.
He literally got possessed by a monkey and was making the monkey noises and everything.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was about a week after Michael Jackson died, and there was a special. It was Derek Acorah contacts Michael Jackson or something. And he actually got... did he get possessed by Michael Jackson or something like that?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that one.
It was on Sky. Oh, God, it was all over the TV. It was advertised everywhere. It was on the side of buses and everything. Derek Acora contacts Michael Jackson. I'm sure he got possessed by him. The moonwalk or something on the table. I don't know what.
Oh my god.
Well, now I know what I'm going to be looking up after we're done with this. I got to see that.
Well, I hope it gives you as much entertainment as it has obviously given Dave.
Oh, I love it. I used to find it recorded every day.
You guys, you're right. Those for the entertainment value, they couldn't be beat because they were hilarious. I think there has been more on that off of Most Haunted because we get the special every Halloween, Most Haunted Live.
What a treat for you.
Exactly. I used to plan to watch that because it was one of those shows where it's like, okay, just hit me with the crazy because I know you guys have got it loaded. Let's go. Let's see what's going on. Because you knew there was going to be crazy crap happening. It was incredible. I loved it. Especially the Mary Loves Dick one. That was the funniest thing of all time.
Have you ever seen the Drive one that they did at Halloween?
Which one?
The East Drive, the Black Monk.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Well, in that, we've actually been to that house, and you can see in part of the episode, Carl gets dragged up the stairs, and they try and make out that it's actually the poltergeist that lives in this house, that it's him dragging him up the stairs. But when we've been quite a few times.
Well, the problem was a lot of people watching the video in the night vision can see the rope tied around his waist.
Okay, yeah. No, I do remember that. That was what, about maybe 3 years ago?
I think it was about then. And when we've been to the house, you can see the rope marks on the side of the stairs where they used the rope to pull him up.
Oh my God, they left the rope burns on the stairs.
Yes, they did. Yeah. It's terrible.
They're not even trying to hide it or anymore.
No, they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care at all whatsoever.
It's like, oh well, whatever. Everybody knows what we do anyway now, so let's just knock it out of the park.
Yeah,
I think that is what they're doing. To be fair,
I think so too.
Have you seen the latest couple of series? I haven't seen it since I've got here, which is like a year ago. In one episode, a bed actually flew across the room.
Well, that's up in the production value.
That was just up in the. Let's not even bother trying to make it look real
so
anymore.
We've gone from Mary Loves Dick now actually levitating furniture.
Yep.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're going to start using CGI Ghost.
They
already did. We think they might. It's either a CGI ghost or it's just one of the other members of the crew that they're paid to run down the tunnel or something. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a CGI ghost, to be fair.
It's definitely got the entertainment value without a shadow of a doubt.
And then there was Stuart headbutting a glass door.
Oh, he actually put his head through the door.
He put his head through a glass door. That's dedication to the cause, that is.
Yeah, that is dedication to your art there.
Dedication to the ratings and the money and all that stuff.
I agree.
God bless him.
It's making me giggle thinking about it now.
I love it.
So, I guess getting a little bit out of since we've had some fun with that. I know you guys do a YouTube channel. How did you get started in all of that? What was it that drew you to it?
Well, do you want to start first, Dave?
Well, what drew me to it was my brother and his friend wanted to do a paranormal YouTube channel, doing paranormal investigations. And they needed a cameraman, and they asked me to come along and be the cameraman. And that was that.
Yeah, I got started a couple of years ago now by my boyfriend at the time. He had his own YouTube channel and asked me to come along on some investigations, which I did. And then I just started filming I've always loved the paranormal, but actually, making the videos was really interesting for me and sharing what we've caught. So that's how I got started.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been doing your current one, DNA Paranormal?
It started, I think was it April last year?
Yeah, it was March.
Would it be March?
Yeah, it was March. March for nearly a year now, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be nearly a year now, yeah. Right to the end of March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was indeed.
It was.
Yeah. End of March 2018.
Oh, it's actually picked up some good steam for that, for just being about a year. And not even a year yet.
Yeah, we haven't really done that many investigation videos, have we? Because
No.
we've only just got a car.
Yeah, we've been really limited on where we can go, places that we could investigate. So we did what we could, but thankfully now we actually have a vehicle. We can go out and seek all these lovely locations to find out what lurks in the dark.
Yeah, I think it worked out last year. We did about one investigation a month, didn't we?
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's how it worked out, sort of. But
More live streams.
Yeah, it was more live streams just in the house, just going mad at everyone and insulting everybody in the world.
Entertaining everybody.
And entertaining people and falling out with anyone we could. It was top quality stuff. But yeah, now we're doing, I think it's working out about 2 investigations a week, isn't it? Up on YouTube. Yeah. Since we got the car, which was about a month ago.
Indeed.
So, do you guys see, do you have more fun doing the live streams or do you like doing the edited videos?
I would say the edited videos.
I love making the videos because we get to put more of ourselves into our videos where it's just me and Dave. We don't investigate with anybody else, so it's just the two of us. And it's really nice to be able to focus on what we're actually doing with just us two. When we're live streaming, we enjoy live streaming, but because we really love entertaining people as well and making them, giggle and stuff. But I think it's more consuming because... Well,
you say we do 2 different type of live streams, don't we? We do live streams that are investigation live streams, but we also do live streams just in the house where it's talking to people.
Yeah, we try and keep the friendly, side of what we do because without the people that have been supporting us this last year, because of the minimal amount of investigations we've been able to do, we've grown to know people that support us as friends. So it's more when we live stream in the house, it's more to like just chats with friends rather than, there's nothing really any paranormal at all, is there? We get asked some questions.
We do like jokey tarot
card readings and stuff.
Like that. Serious or anything, because I don't know. So I'll try to guess what the cards mean.
It actually sounds a lot like what me and my team does on our Facebook live streams. For the team I'm with, PNBC, we do Facebook live streams, and the first one we did actually was a Ouija board, because everybody's terrified of Ouija boards.
Yeah,
and I personally get a kick out of it. Not that there's nothing to it. But it was me and another member of the team, Danny, that sat down and it's like, okay, we're going to follow the instructions on the box only. And if you've ever read the actual instructions on the box, first off, it tells you it's your subconscious. Right off the bat, it tells you that there's no spirits actually involved. It's your subconscious moving the planchette. And secondly, it should be played sitting with your legs crossed, knees touching, by 2 players only, and a lady and gentleman preferred.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it says on the box.
But I didn't know it actually states that it's your subconscious doing it.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think it depends on which one you buy. That seems to be very honest.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm sure depending on the one that you buy, would be different. Because, different companies would say different things. But yeah, the one we had, and it was one of I think it was from the 1980s, actually. Because it was actually given loaned to us, not given, but loaned to us by a friend of ours. And he actually is the head of the Vancouver Paranormal Society, and it had been basically given to him to get rid of. Because the person who had originally had it felt that they had some kind of activity attached to it. And, it's like everything about the Ouija board is, and I don't really want to say it's misunderstood because, like I said, the writing boards had been around for thousands of years before Ouija ever existed. Yeah. But even the name, people don't realize that all of the different, I guess you would call them urban legends or creepypastas about how the Ouija board got its name, when it really broke down to the fact is, in English, it's the yes, yes board. Because it's we and ja.
Yeah. We's yes, and J's yes in German.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And because the people who originally started designing the ones that were in mass production they were French and German. They were French and German descent, and they named it. And it was for yes and yes. That was all there was to it. I mean, they don't have the stuff about the patent clerk using the board and it naming itself with him. There's another one about it naming itself through the creator, and it's like, you know, like I said, people got freaked out of it after The Exorcist. After that movie, everybody got freaked out. And that's what made Ouija boards into this horrible, demonic, devil summoning board game that's made on the same assembly line as Monopoly.
Well, the directions are designed to get her scared and get him laid.
Honestly, pretty much.
Really, you know, I mean,
I did see a documentary, and it was from it was talking about it in the Victorian times in England. It was played by men and women back in the day, on like dates and stuff. So maybe he's right.
Yeah, it could be. Sounds that way.
Yeah, the man's moving it to try and scare the woman, you know.
Yeah.
Especially with their knees touching.
Yeah.
They're already halfway there.
Maybe he's trying to suggest that she should be doing things that, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, they both said yes.
You know, I was about to say, I did not even put two and two together with the name of the board and the way you're supposed to use it. That board is really, and I think we need to get it looked at for another reason, where we were looking at, it summons the devil. No, it's probably due to helping some population boosts. And it's like suggesting, see, it's the yes, you know, so it's like subliminal messaging there.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, I think you're right.
Makes you wonder if paranormal fucking is a thing now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I warned you. We're not normal.
Neither are we. Don't worry.
No.
It's okay.
Now, I have to tell you one story real quick. Where I live in South Carolina, there's a dance called a shag. And it's done on the beach. I've never done it because I don't dance. But anyway, one of the jobs that I worked at, we had a young lady that was like on exchange from the UK. And I was sitting in the break room and she was sitting there eating, and we were just chatting back and forth. And I saw this ad in the paper. They were having a shagging contest.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah, it didn't end well. Anyway, I said, well, look at that. And I showed it to her. She slapped me so damn hard my eyes went cross. I said, what the hell? I mean, I had no idea what I had done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I said, what are you doing? It's a damn dance. They do it on the beach. Shades and red, she was apologizing left and right. I said, what the hell did I say? Because I had no idea. I mean, I didn't know, you know? And told me, I was like, oh my God. Then I got red in the face because I was like, oh my God. I can imagine how it sounded, you know? Oh, but it was.
We had you on the beach, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
We had a great laugh over it afterward. I mean, we both did. You know, we just broke up laughing. But at the time, we were both mortified, her at the beginning and me at the end. You know?
Oh my God.
I didn't know what I asked her. It was pretty bad.
It is pretty. I think it's funny though, because obviously shag in this country means something different to dance.
Yeah, it does. Very.
And you know, I mean, it was like, holy shit! I can't believe I did that. And I didn't even know what I'd done. I felt bad afterwards. I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't mean to offend her, but hell, I didn't know what it was. To me, it meant one thing, and to her, of course, obviously something totally different. And they're not connected.
Oh dear. Well, it was nice, the beach part though.
Yes.
Sounds like club.
Very romantic.
And in inappropriate places and stuff like that. But you know, well, that's my story on that. But I had to throw that in. Anyway, what has happened to the integrity of this show?
By asking what happened to the integrity of the show, you would automatically be assuming the show had any integrity to begin with. And as you always say, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we haven't. They invited us on. That's what happened.
That's what happened. That's what led to the end of.
They were never seen again.
No. Cut off.
The way we figure that everybody that comes on is our friend, you know, and we'll talk to you like we've known you forever. There's no filters. Say what you want. And when we're done, we hope that you enjoyed your time on the show and you want to come back and talk to us again. And that's how we've always done it.
Well, I haven't laughed so much for a long time, to be honest. My cheeks are hurting.
Oh, honey, we even got to we even got to the reason why we wanted to talk to you yet.
Yeah, actually, I'm guessing that should probably be a good segue into actually why we did, or what actually brought my attention to you, because I'm part of a ton of groups on Facebook. Although one of them has pissed me off because they got me banned from sharing anything on Facebook. Because
Who was that?
I have no clue. They won't tell me which one it was. But however it was, somebody reported me for spamming because I went to a bunch of the groups that I'm part of, like Paranormal Happenings and Team Spirit Paranormal and those, and I asked the admins, like, I do a podcast network. I have several paranormal podcasts. Would it be okay if I shared? And they were all like, sure, go on, share them. So I was sharing them, and I've been sharing my podcast there now for like the past month and a half. And then all of a sudden I can't share anything. I mean, why? So finally I get in touch with them, and they told me that somebody had reported one of my posts as spam. Like, well, crap. So I've been blocked from sharing anything for 2 weeks. So whoever that was, you know, they can kiss my ass. But anyway, before that, somebody had put up a video of you all doing a spirit box session contacting Stanley shortly after his death. And this brought me to memories of, one of my other hatreds of in the paranormal, Stephen Huff. And what really got my attention is the fact that, well, you showed how it's done and showed exactly how this guy has been, I guess you'd say, making his fortune in the paranormal off of, bullcrap.
Well, he has many tricks up his sleeve. I talk to quite a lot of people that absolutely despise him, that know what he's doing and the way that he is manipulating people, especially vulnerable people who have lost people close to them and they are seeking some evidence of the afterlife, to give them some comfort. And along comes him with his massive YouTube channel that's full of, dare I say, bullshit. And I sat here and I've witnessed a lot of channels. It's not just him. I've witnessed a lot of channels that have jumped on the Spirit Box bandwagon. They upload a video to YouTube. It gets millions of hits. And that's it. There's no actual intent. There's no caring about the person that's passed over. They're just in it for the money. And I've messaged a lot of these people, and I've also said to them, if you're actually truthfully in it because you care, why are you monetizing your videos? Don't monetize then if you don't care, because I can guarantee if the monetization came off, they wouldn't be doing them no more. So I thought, no, I'm going to sit here, think about it. Is this something I'm actually going to do? Because I know that it's going to bring a lot of hate my way as well for what I'm going to put up on YouTube, the video. And I thought, no, I'm going to do it because it actually is something that I find disgusting. So I got the Spirit Box and I thought, okay, the news starts in a minute. I think it was like 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. It was one of those two. And I said, right, I'm going to sit here, get the camera out, and I'm going to try and see if I can get their name. I'm not even, I even stated that I'm not trying, to contact the person passed over or anything like that. I just want to show you guys how easy it is to actually get the person's name through. And I think it was seconds, and boom, Stanley came through. And I was just like, there, boom, there you go. There's the money shot right there for you guys. That's how easy it is.
Yeah.
If they, if they actually honestly were legitimate researchers who cared about this sort of thing, They would not do it the same day within hours of the person passing. They all know that it's frowned upon. They all know the reasons why it's frowned upon, and they still do it repeatedly over and over again. It shows an actual serious, it's a disgrace, really. Do you not agree, Dave?
I do indeed. I agree entirely.
Yeah, and I just had enough of it at this point. I'd seen numerous Tentacion videos that were reaching millions, and people were just commenting.
Yeah, there's been videos for Charles Manson, Prince, basically anyone who's died in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it's always, boom, the day that it happens, there's a video uploaded. And I've seen some of the larger channels that I've actually had dealings with personally put their videos up and then seen the backlash that they've received for putting said video up and take it down within half an hour of it being up because they just couldn't take the hate anymore. And it needed to be said. It really did. So yeah, that's long-winded, but that's why I did it.
Well, you had a legitimate reason for doing it. I mean, it's like I said, we get on here and we actually have, if you go back through our entire catalog, you will see we have episodes just called rants. Because there comes a point, dealing with anything paranormal, you're automatically going to get hate from it. Anything. You're going to get the people, oh, you're frauds, you're phonies. It happened last year sometime with my new team. We were told we were actually in a contest for funding, and the person was one of the team members contacted the newspaper here and was like, we're the only representatives of this area. You want to do an interview with us, or, can we get a mention or something? And the guy was like, okay, sure. And then he calls him back the next day and he's like, sorry, we can't. And I'm like, why? And he goes, well, the owners think you're devil worshippers.
What?
We get that all the time. And I actually told him, I'm like, well, congratulations. You're now officially paranormal investigators. You've now been called devil worshippers. We've gotten it's all fake. It's all bullshit. We've got, I'm sure you get all that kind of stuff too. Everyone's got their opinion and they're always going to throw this stuff out there. But these people, so we're already facing an uphill battle.
I agree.
Due to simply to the fact that we don't know what in the hell we're actually looking at, even when we do get something.
Yeah.
And then these people come out and they just make it 10 times harder. We've already got the skeptics that are always there to bash everything we put out. Now the internet trolls, and then you have them. And then, of course, you have the fans that love them.
Yeah.
And if you counteract it, oh, that's bad.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I mean, this has got nothing to do with Steve Huff, but just recently, and I'm pretty sure that you would have heard about it. It was all over the internet and the paranormal community not so long ago. Somebody who has quite a large YouTube channel was actually found to be faking evidence. I don't really want to look into what exactly it was that they were faking. I'm pretty sure anybody that knows my team knows us will know who I'm talking about.
Are you talking about a specific body part?
Yeah,
found in a wall?
A bone that was found in a wall.
Oh, yes, I do know that one.
Yeah.
It actually made the news.
It was in the news, not because of the actual find, but because of the hoax that it was. And I so many people that are into the paranormal, that do investigations, that, really take it seriously and respect it. We're just like, this has just set us back so much. Why would you do this? Because you've already got a huge YouTube channel. And what is the point, Because now everybody that, investigates, you've got people that aren't investigators that are watching these videos thinking, oh, well, there we go. That's what they all do. They're all fake. I knew it was fake to start with. I've watched this channel. Maybe it was real. Oh, no, it's fake. Of course it is. Everybody's fake. And you get it. And I've had to talk to so many people and say, this isn't what the paranormal's about. If you see a channel that is sensationalist, that has so much crazy stuff happening in every episode, ask yourself why that is the case, because it isn't like that. We all know that. You can be sat in for hours and hours and hours and hours and literally get just a tap or you know, a slight noise that you think, okay, that's different than what I've been hearing before. That could be a voice. But you don't get contact saying, you know, there's a body in the wall, you know, bang the wall down, there's a bone in the wall,
you can go to some locations, and one time it's ridiculous the amount of activity you can get. Then you go back 2 or 3 months after and absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's why people need to be wary of the channels that are consistently pushing out, you know, sensationalist content, because that's normally a good, you know, measure.
A good indication that they're actually creating the activity.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the point. Exactly. I don't say too much on the subject, because obviously it's personal around us at the moment as well, because of who that person is. And, but I just think it was good to get it out again, because it's the whole thing of the whole faking. They've done it as well as Steve Huff, as well as other channels have all done the spirit box sessions as well. Which are done purely for money. From what I know personally, from watching the person actually do them, I know what the reasoning is. It's views and money. And I find it disgusting. And I had to say something about it, because it just don't sit right with me. I couldn't do it myself, and I don't know how others can, and sit there and just be happy about it. There's something wrong with you if you can do that. Personally, that's how I feel.
Absolutely. You know, and I've talked about with, you know, the shows on TV, the stuff on YouTube, like another guy that we went after him a while back. Michael, I think his name was Michael McGee.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, yeah. Oh, God, Michael McGee and his CGI and his green screens. Oh,
the one he would set the camera up in his kitchen.
Yeah,
everything would foil up.
His kitchen, his living room, and he did one where it was like, now the spirit is communicating to me through a new text document. If I leave my computer up and put a new text document on the screen, it'll type me out messages. And I'm like, so I'm like, okay, well, we'd already done stuff like, listen, folks, slow it down. I actually put pictures up, like, slow it down. Look, there's the highlight. There is the reflection of the wire pulling this down. You can see it. It's fishing line, you know, and it's like, okay, so let's see that. A lot of people don't know you can actually do automatic writing on your computer. You can actually create a file. I can't remember the extension now, but you can type out a file, and it basically turns a new text document into a recording.
Wow. I know that he's, I actually was sucked into him when I first started looking up paranormal videos, and I watched a lot of it, and I thought, well, this doesn't seem right. You know, trust your instincts. There's too much going on. But I was like,
this seems too good to be true.
I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep watching it. And then it came to a point where I saw somebody else's video about him, and there was a shot of his washing machine, and he didn't put the thing back over it, like the green screen or whatever it was that he used to cover it over. He didn't actually cover it back over, so you could see the rope that he had going around his washing machine. And I just thought, do you know what? No, this is it. I'm not watching you anymore. And he does that. Like, I think he makes movies and stuff, so he's doing that at university, and he was making, apparently the reason why he set his channel up was to fund himself through university. That was the only reason that he did, and he has a background in making films and editing. So, like, I thought, well, there you go. He's got everything at his fingertips, and he achieved what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, his videos weren't bad. I mean, you actually had to, like, take them apart, slow them down. I had to download some of them and slow them down and go frame by frame and look. And it's like, if he just put up hey, this is scripted. It's me doing special effects stuff. You know, yes, it's kind of like I mean, other people have done it. They've done stories on YouTube. They've done stories on Twitter. They've done stuff like that to where, you know, you can watch the videos and you follow it along. It tells a story. If he had put that stuff up, he would have probably gotten the same attention and the same amount of followers, because his videos were good.
Yeah, they were good.
Thing. They were too good to be real.
Yeah. I agree.
And people would have followed him. people still would have liked it, but he had to get on there and he had to do his, no, this is all real. This is all happening. I don't edit it. I don't do anything. And it's like, come on. As my mom used to say, I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. You know, I've got more sense than that. I can tell that this is not what you're doing. Like I said, it looks good, but it looks too good to be real. Because anyone who's actually done it, you quickly learn.
Yeah.
That, like, the stuff on Ghost Adventures, the stuff on Ghost Hunters, the stuff on all of that. That is hours and hours and hours and hours compressed into minutes.
That's the problem, though. These people prey on people that don't have the same, like, experience that we have, because obviously we've all been investigating. We understand what it's like on an investigation. And they do prey on the people that have no idea. They may believe that, you know, this is actually happening because they're watching it and they can't see the truth because they've never done an investigation before. Yeah. And yet again, it goes back on preying on the vulnerable, innocent people that watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if they would just come right out and say, hey, this is for entertainment. We're just doing this. This is, you know, it's no different than watching The Conjuring or Poltergeist or any of that. That would be a completely different thing. And the sad part of it is they would probably still be as popular. They're just not exploiting people.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the word, exploiting. Yeah. But I think because they can't, can they? I mean, when it comes to maybe Michael McGee, he probably could because he's got a lot of skills, and he could do something really good without fooling people. Well, when it comes to people like Steve Huff, if he was to come out and admit that actually, you know, what he's doing isn't real, then it's the end of him. He'll never do that because the money that he's got, I think it's got him another mortgage on another house or something. It's absolutely atrocious what he gets up to. And I think he even feeds in views and whatnot from people that he's claiming to do spirit boxes on. So dead celebrities, he'll get hold of like an interview of theirs and play it backwards through like his Wonder Box or whatever the hell it is he calls it.
He's the one who created his own spirit box and sells it to people now.
Yeah, for like $3,500 or something. And it's like a decorated guitar amp. Order of magnitude absolutely despises him.
I think I've heard of him. I don't think I've ever seen his videos though. I've watched a couple of them and I can't get with it. It's just too, it's disgusting. It's so cringy. But a lot of what I've learnt about Steve Huff is through Order of Magnitude. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Riley. He absolutely detests him with a passion. And I think him and Josh got Riley's channel shut down 3 times because he just does not refuse to stop making videos about how disgusting he is and the way that he's just ripping people off that, you know, obviously are trying to contact their dead relatives and stuff.
It goes back to the even Houdini. You know, it goes back to Houdini back in the early 1900s. That basically was what Houdini dedicated his life to. Near the end of his life was debunking the spiritualists that kept coming to him and saying, I've got a message from your dead mother. Now, if you could just write me a check, I'll be glad to give it to you. You know? Yep. So he's like, okay, well, I'm an illusionist. I'm an escape artist. Come in here and hold a seance. And he was offering bounties. Like, you know, if you can fool me and make me believe you're real, then I will give you, you know, I think one time I heard it was like close to $25,000.
Yeah.
You know, and of course back in like the 1900s, that was incredible, huge money. I mean, it's nothing to laugh at now, but back then it's like that buys you pays outright in cash, a brand new house and a brand new car, and you probably still got 10 grand left over, you know?
Yeah. Money.
So that was huge money for that time. And that's what he did. And that's what he dedicated his life to at the end, was going out and calling out all of these people, because I think right after she died, because he had a very close relationship with his mother, right after she died, I think 4 or 5 people showed up. I'm a medium and I have a message from your mother. She said, give me $5,000 and I'll tell you the message. You know, that kind of thing. So,
yeah,
it's just the new, exactly. They were vultures. And this is the new version of that.
Indeed. Yep,
You know,
I agree. It's the 21st century version.
Exactly. It's funny. I've noticed this with the paranormal, and like I said, I've been doing this for over a decade. Michael's been doing this for over 20 years. And we're seeing a trend go back to the beginning of when all of this really got started in the 1800s with the spiritualisms and the seances and that kind of stuff, especially using these spirit boxes, which I don't know how you guys feel about spirit boxes or not. You know, they're not greatly dependable.
No, not at all.
No.
We use them occasionally, but one, I can't stand the noise after about 2 seconds. It gives me a headache. But also,
I'd say the only equipment I like using is a camera.
yeah,
I don't like using REM pods. I don't like EVP recorders. I don't like these bears, you know, that people have made, REM bears. I don't like any of it. If a spirit is there and it wants to communicate with you or show itself to you, it will do it without this equipment. I also think the equipment is unreliable as well. I don't trust it.
Oh, yeah. And especially the people, the first thing you do when you go into an investigation, it's like, oh, well, I got to grab my EMF detector.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'll be the first to admit I do that too, because I've experienced EMF-induced psychosis. I've had hallucinations, both visual and auditory hallucinations, caused by a strong EMF field. So I'll check and see if there's an EMF field. Someone's like, oh, well, I hear voices sometimes and I see shadows. And I'll look and, oh, where you're setting in a 25.8 EMF field. That's why you're seeing shadows and hearing voices. You know, other than that, it goes back in the bag and it's never seen again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the right way to go about it. Really, debunk everything first before you actually, you know, sit down and start doing what you've got to do. Because, like you said, a strong EMF field can affect you in ways that you just wouldn't imagine. So yeah, I think that's great. I mean, we're guilty of that though. We have used the K2 meters. We have used the REM push, but
only because you put bag. I don't want to use any of it.
Honest to God, I think everybody does at first.
Yeah,
you know, you always got that learning curve. Because I mean, back when I first started, the accepted thing was you didn't take a step anywhere without a K2 meter and, you know, all of this other stuff. Well, not really other stuff because there was no real technology at that time for paranormal investigation. I started back in the time where our cameras used video. And, you know, we had like cassette voice recorders. And you're right, Michael, there isn't any still because nothing that we use in paranormal is actually designed for paranormal research. But I'm saying that, you know, there wasn't like no one built the spirit box. The shack hack was still like in its infancy. I also tried doing that one. I tried making my own shack hack and I set it on fire. I don't know how I did that, but it melted. Yeah, I was all happy. Got it back together, got the mute chip out, got the tuner chip out. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it back together, put that battery in it, turned it on. It starts steaming and it starts shrinking. I'm like, oh shit.
You know what that was? That was the devil.
Yeah, the devil was coming through my shack hack and melting it.
I made a connection to
you should have sent it to Zach Baggins.
Oh yeah, he'd have got something. He'd have figured out what was going on for you.
You know, it's funny because I build circuits because I saw that, you know, there was I mean, I like to try to do different things to find data, you know.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, all the stuff we've been doing the same old tired ass stuff for all these years, and none of it hadn't got us very far. So maybe I'll try something different. So I'll just start tinkering with circuits and learning to build stuff. And maybe I'll figure something out. I'll try a different way of doing something if it'll work. Because what have I got to lose? I got nothing to lose. You know?
Exactly.
So I was talking to Joe one day, and I talk out loud when I'm working on stuff. I can't help it. That's just how my process. I'll do this and do something. I'll talk to myself. And I'm talking to Joe. So I said, all right, goggles, safety glasses when I'm doing stuff with a battery, just in case it happens to explode, which is rare, but still, so I got goggles on. So I got goggles, I got voltmeter, and I got paper clip. And that's how it degraded. I went goggles, voltmeter, what do I need? Oh, paper clip. And Joe liked to die laughing, because I got all this fancy stuff. I got all these wires and all this stuff. A voltmeter and a paper clip. He's like, what the hell are you doing with a paper clip? Well, I'm building a magnet. Oh, okay. We're using the paper clip test to see if it would magnetize and pick it up. But it was just funny the way it come out,
Oh, yeah, it's like a doctor standing in an operating room, like scalpel, duct tape. It's like
paper clip.
Yeah, paper clip. All right, there you go. We got you back together.
Stapler.
Stapler, and I always think about think back to South Park. It's like Kenny, I'm sorry to tell you, but we sort of made a mistake. I microwaved your heart and put my baked potato I was going to eat for lunch in your chest. You got about 30 seconds to live. That's the kind of stuff. You just, when you hear it, you're just like, okay, how did that ever even work into the equation? Although I got to admit, when I'm doing stuff, I've got some crazy crap too. That I'm big on zip ties. I actually made, like I told you, when I first started, our cameras all ran on VHS cassette tapes. They were on VCRs. Wow. Well, so I just started with the team, and actually the whole way I got started with the team is a doorknob that had been painted. That if you turned just like a fraction of an inch too far, the paint came out far enough to catch the door, catch it a little bit, so that it would look like it was shut, but a breeze could open the door.
Yeah.
And that's because I went crazy. I was the last one through the door, and I turned around and the door's standing wide open. And they're like, oh, that's the door that they say opens on its own. And I'm like, oh, hell no, it don't. I'm going to figure out why it's opening. So I went and I figured out why it was opening. So I'm sitting there and I'm on my first investigation with them, and it takes us 45 minutes to an hour to run the cables and set everything up. And I'm like, this takes way too damn long. So
yeah,
my friend, the Star, she's looking at me and she's like, okay, well, give me some ideas. How can we do it? I'm like, well, you got a baker's rack? And she looks at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, yeah, a baker's rack. Because what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to mount all the VCRs and the TV where it can fold down, and all of it be strapped onto it, and the baker's rack will be come in. Everything will already be wired. All of it will be ran through, so all we got to do is run the cable for the camera and hook it up, and we're ready to go. And I did that all with electrical tape and twist ties.
Wow.
Franken-rack.
The Franken-rack. When we pulled that thing out on the first investigation, jaws hit the ground. The head of the group actually looked at me straight in the face and went, what the hell is that thing? And then when I took the cover off of it and I popped the TV screen up on the top and I showed him that you could just hit one button and you turn you can go to any of the videos that we needed to go to, and all of it was already ran. I had a power strip ran into, so all you had to do was plug in one power supply, and it cut our setup time down to like 15 minutes from an hour.
Wow.
And yeah, all of it with a
Sorry, carry on.
No, so all of that was just a baker's rack, electrical tape, and twist and zip ties, the plastic zip ties. That's what I used on everything.
Zip ties seem to be very handy. I think that's with the paranormal. Obviously, like you stated before, the equipment that we use isn't even for obviously paranormal research. It's stuff that
I don't
people.
think I even knew that till the other day for some reason.
But
I read something and it said I don't even know what the article was. It was about the K2 meter, I think. It was used by electricians or something for something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the article was. Either way, yeah. I didn't know this until the
It blew his mind.
It blew my mind.
But you
and I was like, I didn't like the equipment as it was, but even now, it's like, oh my God, after seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we go shopping, we always walk past, like the toy section and stuff. And I'm thinking, would that be something that we could use on an investigation, a flashing ball? Or I think it's basically just using whatever you see and whatever you think you could utilize, because there's no real science. No one understands it. And if you get results from something, even, just a zip tie, use it. I mean, I think that we're all just finding our own way, doing our own thing with our own style.
That's exactly it. That's exactly. We just we're all just kind of stumbling through this. Like, actually, this is one we'll give to you. A team from South Carolina we did an interview with a couple of weeks ago now. They gave us a great idea for a trigger object that can be seen and clearly identified. One of their members bought a flashing cat toy that when you roll it, it lights up.
We've got one of those. We actually bought it for that purpose, and we can't find it currently. It's in a box somewhere. But yeah, we've had one because I've got 5 cats, so we have lots of different little weird toys here that we've used. Actually, I have a caterpillar that has lights in it. It's a little cat toy, and my cat passed away last year, and I was in bed quite upset, and I looked straight in front of me, and his cat toy was in between the wall and the chest of drawers. There was like a little gap there, and it was going off on its own. I think it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and this toy needs to be hit by, like a paw. You need to smack it to make the lights go off, and it was just going off on its own. And I just looked there and I just thought, wow, you're around, letting me know still. And it gave me the idea that, well, if he can manipulate that so easily, why can't we use their other toys with us? It's just stuff like that. You just get little flashes of insight. So,
well, it's basically it's the same idea of a REM pod.
Yeah,
it basically runs on the same idea of a REM pod. Yeah, hey, a whole lot cheaper. One of the funnier things ever used on an investigation was a pooping reindeer.
If it works, it works.
It was a little candy dispenser, and when you just barely touched it, or no, sorry, it had a motion sensor on it, and if you waved your hand in front of it or something, it did this dance and played the song, and then the reindeer pooped candy. So I brought that on an investigation once.
Did you get any activity or any candy?
No, to both of them. We were out of candy, and I put it in a room because I was doing the flashlight thing where you take the back end of the flashlight off just slightly, where you can still make a connection. And the body of the flashlight was cool. At the time I was in the States, so everything was in Fahrenheit. The body of the flashlight was at 75 degrees, where the button and the back of the flashlight was almost 100 degrees.
Wow.
So something was trying to push on something there. So I was like, okay, next time we go there, I'm gonna take the pooping reindeer. And my friend Star was determined it was a child, and I was determined it was not. So I thought, if it's a kid, you're not going to be able to resist the pooping dancing reindeer. Yeah, I mean, that's just it, pure and simple. You're not going to be able to resist that. I couldn't resist it, and I'm an adult. That's why I had the pooping dancing reindeer. I couldn't resist it.
I've just got images in my head now of this little reindeer just stopping and dancing and then pooping candy.
That's pretty much exactly what it did. Its head goes up and down, and its legs went from side to side, and then it stops all of a sudden, and there's and out pops the candy.
I think I want one.
I do know.
It was awesome.
I never
got hidden though.
No.
I'm going to go and find one, and on our next investigation, I'm going to have the pooping reindeer.
That's it.
I'll dedicate it to you.
All right.
That'll work.
Yeah, that was like I said, it was great, and then it got hidden. I don't think Star liked me having it because I would periodically play with it. I just walk by and like trigger it. She's like, "Oh my god, are you doing that with the damn reindeer again?" It's like it's too awesome not to use.
It sounds it, to be fair. I think that I would have spent the majority of the investigation triggering it. I would have put candy in it.
That was the bad thing.
Like
I said, I ran out of candy.
Used it so much.
Yeah, I ran out of the candy. But yeah, it is kind of strange what we can use in this. I mean, another one of the people I have the huge problem with is the people on Amazon that buy the $10 EMF detectors, slap the ghost sticker on them, charge $150 for. You know,
Yeah.
they call them the ghost detectors then, and because they changed the name, it's the same damn EMF detector. It's just got a sticker on it. But you know, really, like I'm a very low tech kind of person when I'm on an investigation. I take a digital still camera, 2 video cameras, and my voice recorder. That's it. You know, there's just
I'd like even less than that, just a camera.
I used to do that, but
Camera.
Yeah.
Because the best ever paranormal stuff I ever had happen was the first time I ever went to 30 East Drive. We had nothing with us. We weren't a paranormal investigation team or anything. We didn't have a channel or anything like that. We'd clear all we had seen was Most Haunted, visit 30 East Drive, and then my brother Googled it, and he found out you could actually go and stay there for the night, so we did. And in that night, we had the most ridiculous paranormal activity I've ever encountered. And since setting up an actual paranormal team, we've never had anything that could match that.
Tell them what you found there.
Yeah.
Well, basically, there's a lot of objects in there. There was the first thing we had happen, which was pretty scary, was that me and my brother and the other people with us, we all went upstairs. Within the first 10 minutes of getting there, we all went upstairs just to have a look around. And we came downstairs, and on the way down, there were 2 kitchen knives placed on the stairs. And we were like, what the hell? What's going on here? We were all accusing each other of actually placing the knives on the stairs. And we was like, nah, this can't be real. This can't be a ghost. This can't be paranormal. It's someone's doing this. Someone's winding us all up. So the next thing to happen was we were all in the kitchen. Stephen, my brother, and someone else, their mate. There was 4 of us who went there. There was me, my brother, our friend, and his dad. 2 people were in the kitchen. Stephen was over in the couch. And if you know the layout of the house, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was upstairs. I came downstairs into the front room, and I was just looking at the telly, and I saw it's a plasma. Well, that's quite good. So I was looking at the back of it. I was like, oh yeah, that's quite a good telly. I went back into the kitchen to make a cup of tea. About 10 seconds later, our mate came into the front room. He says, Dave, why is the telly covered with a towel? He says, oh, did you put this on? I was like, no, we went in there. And I was like, no, we couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, the telly was covered by a towel. And we was like, what? This makes no sense.
Wow.
And then our friend's dad, he's quite old, so he went to bed first. He went to bed about 12 o'clock, midnight, and he was up there by himself. And he came downstairs. We were all in the front room, just speaking, having a little chat. And his dad came downstairs, and he was like, what the hell what are you doing up here? And we was like, what? And he says, yeah, I can hear you. You keep coming upstairs. You're winding me up, aren't you? You're running about upstairs. You're running up and down the stairs. You're throwing stuff at me and everything. It's you, isn't it? And we was like, no, it's not us. We're all sitting down here, minding our own. We was eating our dinner. Actually, our takeaway just been delivered. And we was like, no, it's not us. And he was like, oh, forget that. I ain't going back up there by myself to get to bed. And he was downstairs in his boxer shorts and his t-shirt. He was just scared. He stayed downstairs with us for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
and then,
I wouldn't blame him.
Yes.
Tell them about the most scary thing that happened.
I mean, the worst thing, the first thing that made me think, it isn't troll. No one's winding us up. It isn't any of us. It isn't a troll or anything. There's we did a little seance downstairs. We were calling out, and nothing happened. At least we didn't think so. So I went upstairs, and I noticed the light had been turned on in one of the bedrooms. And I went in, I had a look around. It's like, oh, okay, well, maybe someone had turned it on. Maybe someone left it on by accident and then turned it off. So, I went back downstairs. I told everyone. I was like, oh, okay, we don't know about that. Maybe it was just someone being forgetful. So we sat downstairs again for another half an hour. We start calling out, doing a little seance in the pitch black in the house. And then again, me by myself, being the sap I am, being the little guinea pig. They sent me upstairs to see what had happened anyway. I went upstairs. I went into the same bedroom where the light had been turned on. And all the wardrobe doors had been opened, and all the drawers in the room that were on the other side of the room, everything had been opened. And I was like, what the fuck? I knew for a fact no one had opened that because I was the last person up there. No one had been upstairs. And I ran to the landlord. Yo, come up here. Something's happened. This is ridiculous. My brother come upstairs and he was looking. He was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I know for a fact these weren't open because I came up here 20 minutes ago to check to see what was going on with the lights. And, I knew for a fact I hadn't opened them. And then we ran back to the landing again. And he was like, Griff, our friend, and his dad, come upstairs, come and look at this. And as they were running upstairs, I heard something moving about in the room next to us. So I looked over. And as I turned my head, there was another bedroom. And I saw the bed quilt fly across the room. And no one was in there. I was on the landing. And there was no one was anywhere near this bed. And the bed sheet, the duvet, flew across the room, and I was like, oh my fucking God. I shit myself.
Yeah, I bet.
I ran towards everybody. I shat myself. I was like, yeah, okay, okay. It's not a view. You're not messing me about. This is an actual ghost. And we was like, oh my sweet Jesus, what the hell is this? And after that...
If you knew how many times I've said that same damn thing. Oh my sweet, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and then after that, we decided, okay, this house really is haunted. There's some sort of demon or poltergeist, whatever's in here. So we're all of us who are over the age of 30, we're all going to sleep in the same room. Some of us sharing the same bed on the same duvet and all this stuff, with the door shut as well. So we got there, we set the bed up. We went to bed. This was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We were all still terrified. And we were in there, and unbelievably, I couldn't get to sleep all night because I'd seen the quilt myself. I was lying there, and my friend's dad, who was in his 70s, as I said, we were sort of lying, there was like a little alleyway between us. We had our mattresses like separate. There's a little gap between us, but we were lying sort of face to face. And there was a massive bang in the room. We're like, what the hell? He woke us all up. I was like, what the hell was that? And all of a sudden, a burst of light appeared on the wall. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then, because I had the quilt up to my eyes, I couldn't see anything, really, up until, and then all of a sudden a fireball, which it's the only way I can describe it, is if you've ever seen Dragon Ball Z, and you've seen, the fireballs, Street Fighter, and they shoot the fireball. This is what this was like basically. It shot between me and my friend's dad. It went between us and it shot towards the window. And we were expecting a massive crash as if the window would be smashed to pieces or anything. But it never happened. And we were like, did you just see that? And he said, yeah. And I said, yeah, me too. So I'm not going crazy. And we said nothing for the rest of the night. We were just lying there with our eyes open, just shitting ourselves for the rest of the night. And that was that.
I could firmly believe and agree with everything. I think I would have been in that same type of situation myself, because it's funny because I've seen out of the years I've been doing this, and honestly both of the times I've seen an actual apparition, neither one have ever been on a actual investigation. They've all been in another time. Your brain just kind of shuts down, and it's like arguing with itself. You're just like, yeah. No, I didn't just see that. No, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen, and you kind of go on. And then in the place where I was using the pooping reindeer from earlier, I got hit. And I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'2", 6'3". At that time, I was like 240 pounds. I'm a good sized guy. I was leaning over to adjust the camera, and something hit me as hard as I've ever been hit in my life, square in the back of my head.
What?
And I actually had to leave the apartment. We were in an apartment at the time. That was where we were investigating. I had to leave the apartment because I was just like partially freaking out, partially mad, partially scared shitless. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try to be like, oh yeah, I was all hell no. I was like, my friend Stars like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, something fucking hit me, and she's like, where? I'm like, on my head. Turn around, and I turned around. She had pictures of it. I had a big handprint on the back of my head.
Wow.
Blood red, and the recording. Oh, it was. You actually hear, like I said, it was weird when we went in there because nothing worked. Nothing worked. So we actually had to go back to doing webcams. Hooked up to laptops. That was the only type of recording we could do in there was webcams hooked up to laptops. None of the other camera system worked. I was shutting the door, and I caught the cord on the corner of it and pulled the camera over. So I look at the screen and go, ah, crap. Pulled the camera over. I got to reset up the camera. Going back in the room, so they could hear that I was. So it was clearly marked when the door opened and there was shuffling in there that it was me going into the room. I lean over to pick up the camera, and on the recording, which I couldn't hear the voice, but I heard on the recording I could, you hear a woman yell, "Get out," and then whack, and me go, "Oh, fuck," as I'm almost getting knocked over. And I mean,
That's that's incredible, but my God, that's not a good spirit.
No,
that was a bad house. There was some bad stuff in that apartment. Some of the EVP out of there scare the hell out of you. Just hearing it would scare you.
Yeah.
It didn't sound human.
Oh God.
It was.
It sounds like a room where I used to live.
Yeah.
The first time I'd ever used it, we just bought. My brother had bought an EVP recorder, so I lent it off him, borrowed it off him, just to have a mess about with it, just to see how it works. And I did an EVP in my bedroom, and I caught the best EVP I've ever heard anyone catch ever. Somebody was shouting "ah" or something into the speaker, and ever since then, I've never heard anything as good as that in my entire life. I've tried to capture it. I mean, that time I wasn't even trying to capture anything. I was merely testing the equipment itself just to see how it worked, and I managed to capture something. Ever since then, never caught anything impressive ever on an EVP recorder.
Well,
I've never heard anyone nearly as good as that.
That's something actually we learned. I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, usually when you hear when you play back EVP recordings, it's usually like a little whisper, isn't it? It's never anything clear or defined. This was someone shouting into the speaker. I mean, this was ridiculous because I was asking questions and you could hear me speaking, but the volume and the clarity of the person screaming into the speaker was way louder and was way more clear than what I was saying. And I was next to the speaker. I was quite close to it myself, and this was unbelievable. It's the best EVP I've ever heard in my entire life. And my brother deleted it.
Oh God! Well, I kind of ran into a lot of that myself because when I moved to Canada, Star kept all the equipment and kept all the evidence and the equipment and everything. And sadly, she passed away last year, and it's off in the ether now. I don't know who has what, or because needless to say, I'm not in North Carolina, and all of that stuff now is gone.
Oh.
But it's something we actually learned, and actually, I was reminded of this a few days ago. We were doing evidence review actually from just kind of a meeting we had done at a place we were called into, and during the investigation, nothing, not a damn thing.
Yes.
But while we're all sitting in there talking, I got growls, I got hisses, I got a voice as clear as I'm talking to you right now say death.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are self-aware. They know what we're doing, and they even said we the most recent investigation that we did, they actually came through clear as day. They said, "Oh no," I said, "Do you not like the camera?" Then clear as day, no. And then it was get the camera off. Yeah. So I put the camera on the floor, and then it was, what was it saying? Like,
it said it was going to smash the camera. It was going to split the camera up into pieces.
Yeah, it was
because you were holding the camera. Said, "Well, I think it was you." It was trying to say it wanted to stab because you were holding the camera, right? And the best stuff I've ever encountered paranormally, even on investigations, is when the camera's on. Is when the camera's on.
When it's off.
The only time I've ever seen a ghost is when we just turned up. We were doing a 3-day investigation in a place. It's called 39 Degrees. It's well known in England. It's probably not very well known in America or Canada. But we turned up in the morning, on the second morning, because we slept in a hotel, then went to the location. On the second morning, we were just setting up. This was about 10 o'clock in the morning. No equipment was set up, no cameras were turned on. And I actually saw a shadow, a pure black, a thick black shadow person walk through the kitchen into the bathroom right in front of me. And that was without the camera being on. And the rest of the investigation, we got based. Another time was we were at East Drive, and we were there for 18 hours, and we were trying to catch some kind. This was the second time we went, and we were trying to get some kind of activity. Nothing happened all night, and we were like, nothing's here tonight. It's gone. We went to bed. Everybody was asleep. I was on the floor, awake still, because it takes me a long time. I have trouble getting to sleep. I was just lying there with my arms like behind my head, on my back, lying on my back, and something pressed down on my chest like a foot. It was only for like a split second, and it was like someone was standing over me, putting his foot on my chest. I was like, what the hell? What was that? And again, that was without cameras. We had cameras running all night.
I had the same thing here. I've had my own personal experience in my actual bedroom. Yeah. My house is quite haunted, so I don't really need to go far to find activity.
No.
But I've seen a figure at the end of my bed. I've had boxes thrown at me.
I saw the figure in the bathroom standing behind me, and I turned around. There was nothing there.
We hear voices mimicking all sorts. But you put the camera on, and it stops. Yeah, you just won't capture it.
It's like you'll have something. We actually had something run because we're upstairs, and in the loft we had something like 3 or 4 footsteps walk across in the loft, and then the loft door flew open. So we
have caught the loft door opening once on camera.
Yes, once on camera, yeah. But on that particular day, we shut the loft door, and we got the camera out. Nothing happened at all for the 1 or 2 hours we were recording. We turned the camera off, and it kicked off again.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be they just don't like cameras. They don't want to be caught on camera. It's like they know what it is, and they just don't want to play up for us.
Exactly. I think that could be a little bit of what's going on. Is it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess they feel like circus animals or something like that. Yeah. Like this, whatever it is that we're trying to record or trying to, capture there. It's kind of like, well, I'm not your trained monkey. I'm not going to come out here and dance because you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I've seen it consistently. And like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've seen it consistently. When you're not trying, you get damn good stuff.
Yeah. But when you don't
try, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like when you're paying attention, you haven't got your guard up. You're just doing your own thing. You don't expect it. That's when it happens.
Yeah.
But when you've got the camera out, and you've got all your equipment out, nothing.
Well, I can give a perfect example of East. I mean, a lot of this stuff seems to happen around East Drive. We was helping out on an event that was happening at East Drive. Myself and somebody that I used to work with. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and there were 2 females. Like they wanted to stay over because they had to drive home, and they didn't want to drive home tired. So otherwise, we'd have been able to go. So I said to them that they can stay and whatnot. We went to bed thinking that it would be okay. About 9 o'clock in the morning, we'd get up, see them out, and we'd be able to pack up and go. I said, if anything happens in the night or you feel scared, just shout and I'll come down. Like, I was expecting a couple of hours, if not all the way through till 9 in the morning, for us to be able to go to sleep. I think it was about 15 minutes and I got screamed at. So I come running downstairs, And the girl said something scratching on the door and it tried to pull my sleeping bag off my head. We're going now. And I said, okay, no problem. So they wanted us to say a prayer for them or something. So we said a prayer for them and they left. They were absolutely terrified. I've never seen two people so scared in their life. And I was thinking, okay, maybe they're just, a little bit jumpy. They left and we started packing up. I think it was about 4:30 in the morning. So I'm outside with all the equipment, all in its box and everything, ready, just waiting to lock up. And the person that I was with just was right. You can see the hallway from where they were stood, and the stairs, it comes down, and then you've got a tiny little thing you walk around, and there's the hallway. And he was stood there. He just went to reach for the light, and then boom, he said he screamed at me. And this person is not the sort of lad to go around screaming. He was like, get out now, run. And I'm like, oh my God, what? And I didn't even ask what it was. I just went, and I run to the end of this pathway, and he was shaking. He was literally terrified. I thought he was going to start crying, and he couldn't get the key in the door, and he was shaking. He didn't even want to be that close, even though he was outside the house. He didn't want to be that close to the door.
Yeah.
And he had the key. He was trying to get the key in the lock. He's going, I can't lock the door, and his hands were shaking. And to put the keys back in the house, you have to put them through the letterbox. And he didn't want to put his hand in the letterbox. He said, no, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What did you hear? Because we'd had really nothing all night. It was absolutely quiet. And he went, I can't. And I said, look, just put the keys in. And he put them in and just ran straight up the pathway with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did you hear? And he went, something just run down the stairs. It sounded like a herd of elephants. It run down the stairs, and then it started running down the hallway, and it was almost at my face when I just stepped out of the door. And I looked at him and I went, you're joking. And he went, no, did you not hear it? It shook the house. I went, I didn't hear a thing. And I was only about 3 steps away from him. I said, I didn't hear a bloody thing.
Noted that your ears need testing.
No, but this, honestly, legitimately, his eyes are cheeky one. But no, he's like, he said it sounded that loud and it shook the house while he was stood in it. Yeah. I should have heard it.
I can believe.
And I couldn't hear a thing. There was not a sound.
I completely. What was it? The CIA tapping into us.
I'm not sure what's happened there.
Hello?
Joe, still on?
Yep, we're here. It says like,
back.
Who was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling you about the gremlins as well. You can't be on this show and not expect something.
The gremlins have woke up. Yeah, I completely believe what he was saying, because the amount of times I've been there with my brother and my mate, we've spent God knows how many nights over the past couple of years in that house, and we would all sleep in the same room. We'd have the door shut to the bedroom, and the amount of times we'd hear running up and down the stairs, running across the landing, it did sound like a herd of elephants. And the last time we went there, which was last week,
2 weeks ago.
It'll be 2 weeks today, won't it?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks tonight. Yeah, we actually, for the first time ever, this is the first time I've ever heard the running when I wasn't in bed with the door shut. We were doing a little spirit box session, weren't we?
Yeah.
In the front room. And we heard, this is actually on camera in our East Drive episode, and we heard something running in the landing towards the front room. And I dive out the chair, shat myself, and was like, Jesus Christ. and you managed to turn the camera off.
I jumped up so scared.
It was the first time I've heard a squeal.
I didn't scream. I kind of went, and I jumped up and I slammed my fingers shut the viewfinder of the camcorder and accidentally turned.
So we stopped recording for about 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But we caught the sound. The important bit, we did capture the sound.
Yeah, we caught the sound, but it was terrible.
You didn't capture us shitting ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what you missed. But you've got us. You caught the sound of me jumping out the chair.
Yeah.
So we actually caught it on camera. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, it's so weird how it sounds so much louder in person.
And no, because I watch it back on my headphones. My headphones are way better than your headphones.
Yeah. You
can hear it as clear as day. It's just as good as when we were there.
Oh.
And it's 3 massive footsteps from the bottom of the stairs towards the room we were sitting in. If you watch it with the headphones on, it was coming for you. Yeah, because I had my back towards the doorway, didn't I? And it was coming towards me, and I jumped out the chair, span round to see what it was.
the interesting thing was the spirit box. That I mean, obviously, that take them as you will, but the spirit box did say just before it happened, murder, and then it said you're first, Dave.
Oh yeah, this was.
And then 2 seconds later, that happened.
I'm not a fan of the spirit box, but this was pretty impressive, and it was pretty clear. It did say murder and you're first, Dave, and then as soon as it said that, 3 massive footsteps in the hallway towards the front, and I shat myself, jumped out of the chair.
And he's not one for that.
No, I usually completely no. I don't react to anything. It doesn't matter what it is, but that I reacted to.
Oh, yeah,
didn't haul ass after that?
Didn't quite catch that.
Hello?
You didn't haul ass after that?
No. Well, I thought we paid for the whole night to stay there, so we had to get our penny's worth from it. But I wasn't happy. I didn't go to sleep until I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had to sleep with the bed pushed up against the wall in case a demon grabbed me from the side or something.
Yeah, we slept upstairs. We slept upstairs. Well, we went to bed.
Yeah.
I don't know if we slept. We had the door shut, and we set the. It was a live stream downstairs on your phone.
Yeah, we set it up, and
we set
hearing
things. And we were watching it back, and we heard a scream.
Yeah, from inside the house.
We heard a man scream from within inside the house, and I heard. Before we heard it back on the live stream, I said, "Did you hear that scream?" And I heard it come from downstairs, and she was like, "No." But 5 seconds later, because there's obviously a delay on the live stream, the scream came through on the live stream, did it through the speaker?
I crapped
and
myself.
you shat yourself.
I was open mouth like, oh my God, what was that?
Yeah, and we've got that in our latest Easter egg video.
Yeah. Oh God, it was terrible.
God,
we've got to go there. We've got to go there, Joe. That sounds like our kind of place.
Yeah. Let's just. It's the whole getting to England part. It's a little bit of a long trip. I mean, I'd love to go. No. There's tons of places I'd love to see over there.
Well, the way things are now in the U.S., it makes me sad that we lost the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, that's probably connecting us by now. If you'd gone differently, that war.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I could just go back home and not worry about it. Now I'm stuck here.
There'll probably be some sort of bridge across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm sure there will.
It's like the Channel Tunnel.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Extra long.
Extra long.
I'd love that because I'm terrified of flying.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm terrified of. After your flipping air crash investigations, now I am terrified of flying. I mean, we had a marathon of air crash investigations. Now I don't want to fly ever again.
Yeah, I know that. I used to watch that show, but you're right. It does make you not want to fly anywhere.
Yeah, I believe the fact that they keep saying it's the safest way to travel. I believe it now. I'm not too sure.
Well, actually, I got in a little bit of a debate. I won't call it an argument because I wasn't arguing. I was having fun. It was a little bit of a debate when someone was like, air travel is the safest way to travel. Look at the percentage of car wreck fatalities versus air fatalities. I was like, oh, you got a good point with that. But now my next question is, look at the percentage of cars versus the percentage of planes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say.
Put as many planes in the air or there are cars on the ground, and let's see that percentage go up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you think of it. If your engine brakes, explodes in a car, you just pull over and you get out. If it explodes a plane, you've had it. You've had it, mate. You're falling from the sky. You're gone. You're brown bread.
You're falling to the ground at like 500 knots, right? And the little oxygen mask comes out of the ceiling.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're going to be able to breathe good, but you're going to be 10 feet underground when you hit because you're doing 500 knots.
Yeah, but at least you won't be unconscious when you're at the ground.
Yeah. And remember, your seat can be used
as you can enjoy the ride down to the ground.
We're gone.
I mean, you'd think if they're going to do that, they would pump out, I don't know, ether or something, so you'd be asleep when you hit.
Yeah.
I never looked at it that way, but you're right.
Yes, sedate you on the way down. It's like, yes. They'll pump some nitrous into the air. Yeah,
Play some happy classical elevator
you know what
music.
they have in the, you know when you have the teeth. Your teeth
done
at the dentist. Nitrous oxide. Yeah. Let's just go down.
Smashing into the ground. The smashing into the ground would be the greatest time of your life.
Lovely music.
Yeah.
You know, just all relaxed.
Having the time of your life just
That's
before you.
Not going to get me on an aeroplane, though.
Yeah, and then what was my alternative? Let's go by ferry or something.
You said you wanted to drive up through Russia, fly it, and
that was the third option. The second one was to go by the sea, and then you showed me these boats going across these massive 100-foot waves.
I think what you need to learn is don't watch the things I show you.
You know, I think she's right about that. If you ever want to travel anywhere again, don't watch anything she's trying to show you.
What do you think?
You started showing me the Titanic as well. Titanic document.
I was just thinking that. Titanic 2. I don't think so.
You were saying that you were scared of octopus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you never know if there's a giant octopus or a megalodon or anything under the sea.
That's kind of true, but
I think we're staying in England.
We've screwed ourselves over, haven't we?
Yeah,
we're bound to England. We ain't going anywhere. Even Scotland's too far now. I don't trust Scotland anymore.
Well, you know, if you do decide to do your driving trip up to Russia, you're actually really close to me.
There you go, see? You've got to do it now.
I'm actually, I'm only about a 2.5 hour drive to Alaska.
Oh.
Alaska is just separated by Russia by the Bering Strait. It's a really little, it's just a little pass.
Do you think we could get on there in the car?
The only problem is we've got to go through the Channel Tunnel. There's a lot of water over there, and then we've got to go through France. I've seen a lot of things about France I don't like. I'm scared of France now.
We're scared of everything by the sounds of it.
You've turned me into a nervous wreck woman. What have you done? I really like that.
Not only that, it turns you into a nervous Nelly, but she makes you go on ghost investigation.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's wrong with it.
It makes me laugh, the amount of people that say to me, you call out for ghosts, why are you so jumpy? I'm like, I'm a naturally anxious person. That's just who I am.
This is the wrong job for us, really.
It is. I do wonder why I'm doing this.
Why are we doing this?
I terrify myself on a nightly basis, but I do love it.
I am a qualified... why am I not doing that instead? I think I've lost years of my life have been taken off in the last year or so. Just going into buildings, watching investigations.
Well, it's kind of funny. You're not jumpy. You gotta explain to them. They're like, well, why are you so jumpy? You're calling out the ghost. It's because I don't expect them to answer.
That's the one. You don't know. You don't know what's happening or what they're going to do.
Yeah, have you ever sat there and been like, oh, God, you don't expect God to do what? Yeah, it's the same thing.
If he did, I'd be like,
yes.
What?
I've seen the Entity. I've seen The Exorcist. I know what can happen. As soon as I start seeing, I get reactions. I'm like, what? Oh, that ain't happening to me, mate. I'm gone.
It's good to be, it's good to be kind of, on your toes when you're doing this sort of thing, because if you're going into places, especially where we went last time, you don't know if the living are there, and they could be the ones answering. I'm going to get jumpy if someone goes back, yo, what's up? Okay, I'm coming now.
Yeah.
The first group I was part of, the guy that was the head of that group, actually, he was pretty worthless and everything else, but he gave me one piece of advice about it that is gold. He's like, there's something that's going to happen to you. It's going to be completely normal. It's going to be someone, flesh and blood, nothing paranormal at all. It's going to make you scream like a little girl and crap yourself. It's going to happen. Just go on and accept it. Don't try to fight it. it's going to happen. And sure as shit, I was going in, we were investigating this house. And he's like, you know, you got to remember, you're in a house in the pitch black dark that I've just spent the last hour telling you ghost stories about. Yeah, so yeah, you're already a little on edge. So we were going to, this was the old style of building houses in the South, in the U.S. The kitchen was detached from the actual house because of the heat it gave off. So they had built a hallway to walk into the kitchen. Well, what I didn't know is there was a door to the outside that led into the driveway area from this hallway. So I'm coming in from the main house, and I'm walking down this hallway, and all of a sudden one of the other guys from the team comes walking in the door and goes, "Hey, Joel," and I didn't know. I was completely alone. I turned around and came damn near to knocking him out. I spun around on him, and I drew back, and he's like, wow. He scared the living shit out of me, and he almost got punched.
Oh gosh, I think I would have just
I've had
been
that.
done. Game
I've had that
over.
happen. It's on camera as well. It was Uber stand.
This was on the camera I was carrying. It's got me going, Jesus motherfucking Christ! I was screaming.
Pretty much.
It was.
Yeah, I had the camera pointed at my face as well, so you can see my reaction. It was pitch black at this place called Uber Stand in England, and it's basically, you know, it's in the middle of a forest, but there's like a massive tower. Or, I don't know what it is.
It's like a tower thing.
Yeah, there's some sort of weird tower thing, and I was just winding my own business, walking around saying,
you had your hand on the wall because it was so dark. You couldn't see where you were going.
I couldn't even see where my hand. I couldn't see my hand, so I was like using the wall. And then all of a sudden, my mate walks up to me and says, "Yo, driver," I goes, "What the fuck?" He walked down the corner. I swear, I think I actually...
You aged about 50
years.
I aged
50 years. I think something was actually excreted from my anal passage.
Well, you know, until you have shit yourself over something like that, you really can't call yourself an investigator. I mean, I had to do that to one of the new guys, Dan, one of the guys in the team. We were using... Because we live in an area with wild animals. We have bears and wolves and wolverines, and those little fuckers, they might be little, fat, roly-poly looking things, but they're vicious. Moose are not very friendly. You know, we've got a lot of things that will eat you here. So we were using we were in an abandoned house, and we were actually using a baby monitor to keep a clear line of sight with the car. So if we had to make a break for it, we knew there was nothing between us and the car. Yeah. So what Dan seemed to forgot for a couple of minutes is the fact that the baby monitor had a walkie-talkie 2-way on it. So I could actually sit there at base, hit the button, and talk through it. Like when, a baby wakes up and the parent tries to soothe it. You know, it's okay, and the voice comes through. So Dan's up there, "This place looks creepy. This place is this. And I remember it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I have to pick it up and go, Dan. And I hear, "What the fuck was that?" Yeah, and I'm a little bit of an asshole.
Well, you know,
I think I'm the same.
I think
you know what's bad? You pack your bag for the gear, and all you pack is your camera, some Depends undergarments, and some Xanax. You know that you know that you're really in a bad spot.
I think that's my kit bag.
Tranquilize yourself before you go and have the Depends for when you shit yourself.
I do believe that's how it's going to end up for me.
Especially after that place we went on Sunday.
I know. Oh gosh, don't.
We caught the bloke looking through the window.
Oh, don't.
And
We've got to go back there as well, and I'm absolutely pooping myself about it.
I don't think we should have agreed to that, to be fair.
I don't want to go back again.
No, we have got to get the UK to go out with these people.
What was that?
The first part of that.
So, Joe, we've got to get over to the UK so we can go out and investigate with you people. We've got to.
Yes,
sounds like
please.
It's plan.
Yes.
We have so many places that we could take you. It would be absolutely amazing. You have to. You definitely have to one day. It would be great.
I might just come to watch you shit yourself. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm being good now, but I'm like a sailor, aren't I? An old sailor.
You are like an old sailor.
It's F that. What's this? What's that? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh, that's putting it mildly. Yeah. It's not. Oh my god! Trust me, it ain't that.
Oh my fucking god! What is that?
It ain't freaking. Trust me, it ain't freaking.
Yeah.
There's no freaking stuff.
It's a demon. It's a demon. Oh effing.
Oh effing. Oh effing. It's an effing demon.
I lose myself though in the fear. I just lose myself. So I can't help it. I try. I just get so nervous.
We have no idea what was going on in that room, but to us it's like, flipping, get out of there. Go.
Yeah, just go now.
Go. We ain't going back in, it's over. We ain't going back in.
Game over. And then you look up at the window and you can see a curtain just like moving to the side and someone peeking out. It's like, yeah, I think it was good that we left.
Yeah, that was Satan.
And then we went back.
It was Satan, I trust it. Trust me, it was Satan.
And we went back the next day.
We went back the next day, yeah.
We need help.
Yeah. Oh, God. Could have been some flipping ready.
I know, you just have no idea. But yeah. Oh dear.
You know, we had thought about opening a retirement home for retired paranormal investigators in our golden years, so that you know, I'll just sit around and remember, you know, like the good old days.
Yeah,
it'd be
that'd
nice.
be good.
Quiet there, lots of tranquilizers, no loud noises. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be good. We bring in Derek Akora,
Yeah,
Zach Bagans.
Well, we were originally planning to call it 1 Foot in the Grave Paranormal Retirement Community.
Oh, good. That would be actually a really good idea.
I'd love to go to America.
I'd love to go to America as well.
What was
I'd love to go to Canada.
Did they say Austin? Was it? Did they put it in?
When?
I can't remember. Did I hear Austin, Texas? I was going to put it. I can't remember. I might be hearing things. It could be paranormal. I don't know.
The Gremlins.
The Gremlins did it, kick it in. Anyway, I don't know. I'm on America or Canada, to be fair. It's an upgrade from Britain.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I'd love to go to both places.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll trade you. I'll go to the UK. I think that'd be good, or even Canada. Right now,
I think England's with the ghost because of how old the country is. There's just ghosts everywhere.
There is ghosts. It's just all it is.
It's nothing but ghosts. But for everything else, I'd say yeah, America or Canada's got to be better.
I agree.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty. I live in a really remote part, so we got a lot of activity and a lot of crypto stuff up here. That's really the main thing up here, is like I guess you guys have something like Sasquatch and that kind of stuff over there.
We've got the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got I'm not too far from. I don't know if you ever heard of the Ogopogo.
I've heard, but I don't know anything. I've heard that though before.
That's not too far from me. Basically it's the Canadian Loch Ness Monster. It's in this huge the Okanagan Lake. It's a huge, deep, old lake, and occasionally people see this serpent-like sea monster thing. It's supposed to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 35 feet long, swimming through it.
Blimey.
Yeah, I think it was on Chills, wasn't it, or something like that? One of his urban legend or whatever it was, and somebody caught it on camera, and it's like something moving on the water. It's like a giant snake or something.
Yeah,
it looked good, but I don't know if it was real or not. Obviously, because I wasn't there. I didn't film it. But you know, it looked good anyway. It looked convincing. It made me shit myself when I saw it the first time. Yeah, it looked pretty good. Yeah, I've heard of that. We
don't really have much here. I mean, we're a hotbed for UFO activity. England, England's had a load of big. Is it Rendlesham Forest? There was a huge thing about the UFOs that was seen there.
That was on Strange But True.
Mm-hmm.
And the police and the army was involved in that.
Yeah.
A lot of the police officers and the older soldiers that were involved in that came out and testified, didn't they?
Yeah.
Came out and revealed it.
I mean, I know of the Loch Ness Monster, but I don't think we really have any other...
If there was a Loch Ness Monster, it's probably been killed by pollution by now.
No, not in Scotland.
In England.
No, it's too lovely in Scotland for that. They've got good air.
Probably froze to death.
That's what I'm surprised here. It hasn't froze to death.
That is true.
That's true, yeah.
In Canada, I can imagine it's very cold. Isn't it like -40 or something in Canada at the moment?
In some parts, yeah. Right now, ours, I think we're -4 or 5. We just had the warm up. We were like a couple of days ago. We were -28.
Jesus!
My gosh!
Bloody hell! Imagine the eating bill for that.
We're moaning because we got to minus.
You don't want to
We're
know.
like, this is too cold. This is too cold.
Yeah, I even turned the settings up on my telly to warm the room up.
Yeah.
I've been considering getting steel barrels and starting fires in each room.
That's cold.
We're natural gas. We got a natural gas bill here last year, honest to God, close to $1,000.
Well, that's the one problem we kind of is the bloody temperatures.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now, if you come here during the summer, if we have a summer and a spring, it's amazing. Especially up in this area. Everything's in bloom. The temperatures, you get a nice warm temperature without it being like, it's like perfect. Perfect temperature. You can get out, do whatever you want. It's amazing here during the summer and spring. If we get one. Sometimes we don't get one though. Sometimes we go straight winter, fall, winter. And those years suck.
After the summer we had in England last year, I don't want to see a summer ever again.
I'll be quite happy to just go.
I don't know. Today here where I'm at, it's 80 degrees and they got the air conditioner on.
No.
The thing is with the heat in this country is that the oxygen disappears.
Yeah, it's horrible. Humid.
It's so weird because I've been to the Caribbean and on a thermometer it was actually hotter in the Caribbean when I was there than it was last summer here. But it's not worse here than it did in the Caribbean.
Yeah, because we're really humid. We don't get no breeze.
We have no oxygen.
So horrible.
It's like you suffocate to death.
Yeah.
That's the way it is in the southern U.S. It feels like you're breathing water.
It's so horrible because last year, the summer that we had in this country was really, really strange. It was roasting.
It's the worst one that we've had for like, God knows how many years.
We had a comparison of England before it happened and after, and it was green to begin with, and then afterwards, the whole of England was brown.
Oh yeah, like
we didn't have
picture, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had no rain whatsoever, and it was that hot that we actually said to each other, we think that we're hurtling towards the sun, and nobody's told us that this is actually the end of the world.
Yeah, we thought something had gone wrong.
We thought something had gone wrong.
Yeah, we thought they weren't telling us just to protect us from ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't get upset it was that bad.
We were so convinced that there was something seriously wrong. Yeah. It's never been that hot in this country before.
We literally thought that global warming was going to end the world or something. We thought it was like, what was that film? The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where instead of it being cold, it was heat.
Yeah, it was just burning up.
Yeah, when we just thought the news wasn't telling us about it. To not upset us.
It was so hot we went delirious.
Yeah.
Yeah, been in that kind of, like I said, in the southern U.S., that's how it is down there. There's no humidity up here.
Well, yeah, I always wanted to go there, but not after what I've just heard.
Yeah, I love barbecue and stuff. So I would love to go to the south, but and I just recently found out I've got family, and I think they currently live in Florida, but they're from where is it? Is it Michigan? I don't know.
They're all over America.
It's they're on the right hand side of America.
Well, Florida's the southeast, is the extreme southeast, and then Michigan's kind of Midwestish.
No, it's not that one. It definitely was it Mississippi?
Mississippi's in the southern U.S. Yeah.
I did the DNA test and on Ancestry and found a load of people that are like really closely related to me.
But to be fair, when we looked through your DNA, they were all over America.
No. Yeah, all of them. I don't think I actually have one one relative that lives in England.
There was like Texas. There was everywhere basically.
Yeah, all my family.
Carolina.
Well, that's because my granddad was an American GI who came over here. And I've just recently found out, because my mum didn't know who her dad was. We just recently found out that my granddad on her side is actually American as well. So when we did the DNA test, it's like, oh, okay, this woman started talking to me, and she's like my third cousin, and she showed me a picture of her and her family, and they just a spitting image of my mum, and I showed my mum, and she was in shock. She was like, I can't believe how much I look like these people, and she's like, you should come over, and I'm like, yeah, let's watch an air crash investigation video.
Yeah, that shut that idea down.
It's funny
you're not having now.
I didn't. I was adopted, so I didn't really know my heritage as far as the country and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I did the DNA test too. Turns out I'm 56% Irish.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, my mum's adopted as well, and she had no idea who her dad's, and that's why we did it. Basically, she needed to know. And she's actually 54% Scottish, which she had no idea about, and Irish as well. So it's really cool, that ancestry test. I know a lot of people think that they're going to steal your soul and stuff if you take it, so it's a bad idea. Don't do it. But I loved it, because when you don't know who your grandparents are or your parents, it's hard to know, like, where you come from, and that's very important for people that are adopted and stuff like that, or don't know who their one parent is or whatnot, because you want to know where you're from. So yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, I have to come to America one day.
Even doing my own genealogy search in my own family, I found out things that, like, I'd been told from the time I was little all the way up, that I found out weren't true. Like, my grandfather on my mother's side is, I believe, first or second generation Irish American. His father or his grandfather was born in Ireland and immigrated to the U.S. And he, according to what I'd always heard from my mom's side of the family and my mom, his mother was also Irish. Well, it turns out that wasn't the case. His mother was born in Germany.
Wow.
So he was actually Irish German. Then I kept looking. I was always told my great grandmother, my mother's grandmother, was Spanish, and that she was actually, like, her family line came from Spain. Nope, she was Mexican.
What?
Wrong way, all the way around. I found the records for her. She was Mexican, and that has been a brutal search, because her last name was Gonzalez. And the people in the early 1900s weren't big on education. They weren't good spelling folk. So I've actually found her name spelled with question marks.
Wow.
Gonzalez spelled G-U-N-S question mark on official government documents.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing what you start. Like I said, that was stuff that I've been told my entire life. Since we're talking about this, I also found out a huge family secret, that actually my mother had a sibling that nobody knew about.
Oh.
Her father and her mother. Her father was born in 1904. Her mother was born in 1917. I have a very old family. So there was an age difference. Well, he had a first wife, and he also happened to have a first daughter.
Yeah.
And not only did I find out about her, I found her.
Really?
I found her in about, I think it took me 2 days of actual searching, and I found her. And about a week later, she met her brother for the first time in her life. She grew up an only child.
Oh, bless. Oh, that's lovely. We actually had the same sort of thing. My mum was told that her dad was British, and so obviously, and I think she was told he was in the Navy. So we was looking all over England and searching English records. Turns out he wasn't even English at all. He was American. I don't know why she didn't get told the truth, but that made me think, right, okay, I really want to dig, do our family tree. I really want to find out where the hell we come from. And it got so far back that on my mum's dad's side, he had the Mayflower, and I think the other one was called, it begins with a P, I think, because you had the first boat, which was the Mayflower, and then I think you had like
the Pentagon.
No, it wasn't the Pentagon. It was like the Primrose or something like that. Yeah, and my family actually were on that boat, and I was like, what? I had no idea. And my oh gosh, it's going back now. So I think it was like a good few hundred years ago. My great granddad or something like that actually was alongside George Washington.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, his actual house is on a map that George Washington created.
Oh wow!
And I was sitting
here. Another relative that was best mates with Henry VIII.
No, that was the same bloodline. The same all along my granddad's, my great granddad's bloodline. It's insane. There was one of them was a constable in the Tower of London back in 1066.
Oh,
so
wow.
Around the Hastings, I had family that sat in court for Henry VIII. One of them married. Oh gosh, I could tell you this. I've made videos about it. I've spent endless hours researching my family tree. I find it absolutely fascinating because I've just never known my family's history, because obviously my dad and his dad was obviously the American GI, and once he had to go back after the war, we never saw him again. We never found out any family. He could have brothers and sisters, we don't know. My mum was adopted, so again, we had no idea. So it was really interesting to actually dig down and think, oh my God, this is where we actually come from. So,
and then we did mine, didn't we?
And I couldn't
and then we did mine, didn't we? And we found out my uncle was flipping Vladimir Putin. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. My stepdad is flipping Donald Trump.
Hold on, I would feel sorry for you on that one.
Unfortunately, Dave's bloodline didn't go back.
I'm like 99% English, and we've never left the town of Will and all. Yes.
He hasn't. He's got a migration circle on Ancestry.
Of about 400 metres, I think it was, wasn't it?
Your family literally never left.
We never left the same street, I don't think.
No.
Oh, I kind of know that feeling, because I have my father's side of the family is from a very, very small town in Kentucky, and it's like basically the whole family's there. And the whole family was from there, and the whole family started there. And it's one of those weird things. It's like, how did this even happen? I don't even find where like they came from somewhere else. It was like 1 minute someone turned around and was like, "Who the hell are you?" And they were just there, and then they never left. They just turned up, and that was that.
Yeah, that's the same as Dave.
Yeah. That way, I'm a pedigree, a thoroughbred.
We laugh about it, and it's interesting, but paranormal investigation and historical research and genealogy kind of go hand in hand, really.
They do. I totally agree.
You have to, when you do the research on a property, you get property records, you get tax records, you get who the owners are, you get family histories, you get all this stuff, and you get that sometimes before the investigation happens and sometimes after, but you have to get it.
Yeah.
Because you have to have some baseline to correlate what you may have got evidence-wise to something you can factually say happened, or to some person.
Yeah.
And so they're really not that different of a thing until you get into the actual investigation, of course, which is different. But the research itself is kind of the same thing. If you're a paranormal researcher, you're also a historical researcher, because you have to do both.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. I mean, I love history and I love the paranormal, so it's a really good thing for me to do.
When I come to the UK, you got to teach me all the swear words.
What was that, sir?
Hey, you gotta teach me all the swear words that I don't know.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. We have loads. Loads you've never heard of.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about them. Don't you worry.
I'll make notes.
Well, oh, sorry, go on.
I was just saying I could take notes so I could have it for later.
So, as much as I hate to do it, we do need to, I guess, kind of wrap up. We've actually taken 2 hours of your time out here. Well, once we got going, it just flew right along. Before I know it, I look over, I'm like, holy crap, we're going. But before we do leave, let's let the people know where they can find your videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you're interested after this in posting our videos and our investigations, you can find us on our Facebook group, which is DNA Paranormal. You can find us on our YouTube channel, DNA Paranormal.
Okay.
Yeah, we have an Instagram, which is in my name. I'll spell it out. It is Lexi, Lexi. I think it's actually Lexii, and then it's a little dash.
Yeah.
And it's DNA Paranormal. And we're also on Twitter, which is DNA Paranormal again. I think if you put DNA Paranormal, you'll find us.
Yeah, just Google it. You'll find us.
You'll find us.
It's the two gorgeous people that pop up.
Well, it does make it easier to find everything. That's like with me. It's like, let's see. If you want to find us on Facebook, it's at Nightstalker Pod. If you want to go to Twitter, it's at Nightstalker Pod. You want to look on YouTube? Guess what? Google Plus. Guess what? It makes it easier. Plus, it makes it easy for everyone to find you. You don't have to go through it, and if they're wanting to watch something like you said, it's like just Google us. You put in Nightstalker Podcast, you're going to find us. We're everywhere. The same with your DNA Paranormal. It's like you want to find us on Facebook, just put it in there. DNA Paranormal.
We'll pop up, good or bad.
Well, guys, I do want to thank. I have had far too much fun doing this. This has been great. I don't think I've laughed during the recording so much. Honest to God, it has been incredible. And I do thank you for coming on for as long as you came on. I mean, we went extra innings here. And again, I do want to thank you for that. And of course, tell you anytime you want to come back on, you've got me on Facebook. You got my Skype. Just be like, hey, I feel like recording another one. And you're on. We'll work out the date. We'll work out the recording. We'll do it.
We'd love to. I've had a great time, and my cheeks I can't stop laughing, but I've had such a great time, honestly. My cheeks hurt. Dave, what about you?
Same here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
We don't got her tickled now. She can't stop.
Oh, I'm a giggler. No, honestly, it's been absolutely great. I hadn't even realised that it's gone so long because it's just been so quick. It went like that. Yeah.
I looked over and it's been recording 2 hours and 3 minutes.
No, honestly, if you ever want us back on or anything, just send us a message, and same for us, we'll message you. But
All right.
yeah, we're definitely doing it again in the future. It's been great. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you, Lexi
Thank
and Dave.
you.
You guys have a great night. Since it is nighttime there, you guys have a great night.
I'm going to have some dinner now. You haven't even had yours yet. You cooked it. But
I cooked it and didn't eat it.
yeah. So we're going to try and have some dinner now. But yeah, have a great day, great evening, and thank you so much for having us on.
Again, thanks
You're
for
very
being
welcome.
on.